Woo-wee, we got a fun new project today, a 53 Kaiser Dragon. There's like one of like 1,200 of these things made, but it's rough. Got a good deal on it, I guess. I mean, I guess it wasn't all that expensive, but we're gonna try to get it running for the first time since the 70s, and hopefully moving, get the rear end freed up, and coming videos we can expand upon, try to get some of the rust knocked down and brakes all working and get it cruising. But right now we're just gonna try to get it running. Popped all the sun is freaking gnarly right there. Popped the hood off and the front bumper off. Got a little more room now. And I was taking a peek at quite a few things, kind of getting a game plan. And obviously there's nothing here, no starters, none of the wiring, the starter solenoid, the battery tray. I think I'm just gonna end up like ratchet strapping it down. But the motor mounts, as you can see, are not attached. I'm not sure why this one's set up like this. If they were both like the normal bolt pins, I feel like it would have been fine. So just find out some way just to get it attached so it doesn't move around while we're trying to first initially fire it up. And then hopefully the coil works, but obviously the ground and the power on this are all sorts of rusty. So I was lubing some of the stuff up last night to hopefully make it a little bit easier to get into some of these things. And the carburetor is all sorts of like the linkage is all seized, but there was came with an extra like brand new carburetor. You can kind of flip it around, you can hear the floats move up and down, so I'm pretty excited. That should hopefully work. I got the initial adjustment all set up on it, and then I threw some vacuum plugs on it to hopefully be fine. I don't have a gasket for it, so hopefully that gasket's fine, or I can mess around with something. That's the first thing I'm gonna work on, is pop this old carburetor off, throw the new one on, and I can start messing around with cleaning up some of these wires. Because it looks better now that I got some crap on it, but they don't look like they're gonna want to work. And then I'll get the battery mounted and all that, and getting closer. So let me drop the new carburetor on. It looks all nice and fancy. And I was cleaning up some of the electrical, and I was starting to mess with trying to get the starter to flick over. I put the starter solenoid on. I was having all sorts of problems, and I just think I didn't have the points like cleaned up enough and tight. I think the big thing is I didn't have the bottom nut on the starter tightened down enough, but it'll actually flick over right now, which I don't have the battery on right now. So, and the next thing I was gonna mess around with to see if I can get power to the coil, because I get power to the coil, and then in theory all this stuff works. It should be able to fire up. At least electrically, there's nothing else I have to mess around with. Got all the spark plugs put in, and I noticed like the back 3 cylinders, which I imagine there's some more moisture back there, particularly this one. The threads are all funky. I can't get it all the way down, so hopefully don't shoot a plug out the block when we go to start it up. But I was also putting the plug wires on, and I noticed, well, one, obviously they're all super rusty, but if you see, it might be kind of hard to tell. But inside the plug wire, it's like any other wire. You got the shielding around it, and there's a wire in the center, and then the end of the wire will stick out, and you'll fold it over the end of it, and there's no wire in here. And I imagine the rest of them look similar to that, so I ordered a set. I'm supposed to be here later today, but I don't know if I have faith in that. Maybe it comes tomorrow. So I think I'm going to start bouncing and messing around with the rear of the car. Hopefully free it up so it'll actually roll. I got to push it out of the back of the garage a little bit. But I was messing around with this last year, and it's such a pain in the butt because the rear end's got to go so high up to get it to outside the skirts. And it's a little bit sketchy. And with all the rust, I was like pulling on it, and I felt like I was going to rip the car in half. But start messing around with that. I got a puller and whatnot to try to break them off and get it rolling. Take a look at the time lapse and move pretty fast. It took like 20 minutes to take this one off. It took an entire day to get the other side off. The freaking puller on this one worked perfectly. It looks a little bit less corroded. The problem on the other side was this part did not want to back off, but like that worked like it almost is like a normal drum when you're pulling it off, because they tend to get stuck on even if they're fresh. It pulled right off. I'm pretty excited about that. I was not looking forward to spending another day messing around with it. And it came right off. It popped. I fell on my butt, but seemed like something snapped in the back. Maybe that's why it was so easy. I don't know. But that was pretty sweet. I'm pretty excited. Don't have to mess around with this stupid thing anymore, and actually clean it up, toss it back on. I'll probably just take the shoes off right now so it doesn't try to rust itself back up. And it rolls now, so that's all that matters. I'm so excited. Look what I can do now. Whee! both sides spin. That's pretty legit. I'm excited. No more annoying pushing with this and almost. I actually, funny story. I broke my tooth pushing this last year, so I don't have a lot of love for messing around. Got all the spark plug wires in, and they're fancy ones. For one, they look kind of cool, but they have all the boots on both sides, which the old ones did, and that's part of the reason why they went bad, because the exposed end just rusted. Because the one that was stuck in the distributor looks like brand new, which kind of sucks, but at least getting the upgrade. Pretty simple. You just got your clip. If anyone's never done this before, you cut it to length, you flip this over, and then you just crimp the fitting onto it with one of the tools. Slide your rubber piece over first. Use a little bit of dish soap so it'll slide, because it's not going to want to slide on it. And then, boom, there you go. I got 8 packs. I got 2 extra ones. I'm leaving the long ones in case I end up cutting something short. Hopefully not. But going to work on these and hopefully start bouncing over and maybe getting the car running. Got the spark plugs all made up. They look pretty good. I'm going to throw them on the car. Wow, that was pretty legit. They just threw themselves on there. Got them on there. And one thing I should have checked before I actually made up the plug wires was they had the, obviously they had the firing order, and they had this as number 1. And I double checked and it was right, so that was good. When I was looking at the book, and hopefully the book's right, got the firing order right about there. And they had cylinders 2 and 3 mixed up on here. So if we have a problem, maybe the book's wrong and they had it right, because the rest of the stuff looked pretty decent. I mean, that's pretty much it. I'm going to have to throw a battery in it now. Not probably, I'm definitely going to have to throw a battery in it. And hopefully the car doesn't run me over. It's in neutral. What's kind of cool about this car, it's automatic in 50s, so, you know, not really super common, but there's no park. There's just neutral. So we're in neutral, and hopefully I don't get ran over. I got some wood chalks in the way, but I think we should be fine. And get the battery hooked up and fill the bowl up in there and shoot some gas, and maybe just maybe we'll have some luck. All right. Toss the battery in, fill the bowls up, and see what happens. Well, I was hoping I could fill the bowls up from up top, but it doesn't look like I can. See what happens. Oh, well, that's interesting. Spin over for me. It sounded like for a second it wanted to do something. So we'll see. Well. Definitely doing something. Use some starting fluid will work a little better. Oh shit. This battery sounds dead. I probably should have checked it beforehand. It's trying. Oh yeah, you know, that'll probably do it. It's only at 5.8 volts, so we're about half a volt down from what a full battery would be. So I'm gonna throw it on charge really quick, and I'll be back. All right, I got the battery charged up. It was actually a good thing the battery died on me, because I realized I had the ignition set up with the starter, so when I press the button, the ignition would fire. But obviously that doesn't work when you're not pressing the button, so it wouldn't run for a long time anyhow. As soon as I stopped pressing the button, it would stop getting power. So I got that just wired into the battery, hot right now. So battery's charged up. I'm going to toss it on and see if we get some better luck this time. A little more cranking. All right. fluid out of this. There we go, a little better. Oh, he's trying. Let's see if the spark's coming in. It seems like it's firing over a little bit. Could just be the low compression, because some of the cylinders seem like they're low. The rest of them seem all right. I figured it would maybe start up, but I don't know. Give it a little more. This carburetor needs to be messed around with a little more. Oh, I thought about it. Likes the throttle right about here. Dang. Oh. Oh. Man, I don't know if the timing's off a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised when it was dropped in the car, because knew that it was just dropped in with no advance, possibly. I don't know which way's advance and retard on this car, so I'm assume, what is it, counterclock or clockwise with a little bit of advance. Let's see what that does. Or clockwise, rather. Alright, well that definitely doesn't seem happy. Oh, I don't think it's that far off. Battery's dying out again. Sounds a lot happier there. Oh, I'm gonna take a look at the timing again a little bit more. See if we can get that dialed in, because it seemed like we moved it a little bit and it was working a little bit better. All right, I kind of got the timing set. Well, I double checked the timing and it didn't seem horrible. However, oops, I'm dropping crap. Gonna get it to the proper advance, just a few degrees. So I got it laid out. I got it set it, I think it's like 5 or 6. Got the fuel pump going, but try to get it dialed in. Sounds about right there. Oh crap, I'm dropping stuff. If you you can get it lined up close, and then as long as you got the power to the coil, you can hear it zap and spark. Just so we're like right on, dead on the rotor. Looks pretty good to me. I also hooked up the fuel pump just because I think it might give me some extra. It might make it a little bit easier. The choke, I've never really messed with electronic chokes, and this choke is being it doesn't want to open up properly. So I had it opened up all the way, and I'm kind of thinking it might help me a little bit not to have it opened all the way, so it simulates like it's getting choke. But I kind of wanted to open up before because I wanted to be able to spray starting fluid down it. But now that I got the fuel pump hooked up, I shouldn't have to worry about that. The carburetor seemed like it was working. I was messing around with it a little bit. Seemed like it was spraying. Let's see. Oh yeah. Seemed like it's doing its job. Now I'm not super familiar with it. It could be vacuum, and that could be some of our problems. So I kind of started shoving vacuum plugs in everywhere. I also hooked up the exhaust, and because we kept backfiring out of it, and so I'm hoping that'll give us, I don't know, maybe it'll do something. But time to mess around with her a little more. Yeah, I was testing some compression on it. Not full on, I just shoved my thumb in it, and it seems like they're all okay except for the back cylinder. So if we're not gonna have any luck right now, because timing seems to be in, we're getting fuel, we're getting spark, I tested that. So if we're all good on all those fronts, I mean, I really probably gonna have to do a compression test, because that's kind of the next culprit. Because like I said, the timing seems fine, got it dialed in, top dead center, seemed to be doing what it was supposed to be doing, and so if it continues to have some problems, then I think the next thing I definitely got to look at is compression. Make sure these spark plug wires are on. All right. Let's see if that helps. Huh. Oh man. I don't understand why it's backfiring like that. Like I said, it seems like the timing's alright. Now, one thing I did say, and I guess it's just a Hail Mary, is I swapped around plugs 2 and 3 on the cap because according to the diagram it was wrong, but they had all the other wires correct. So I'm just gonna, I don't know, maybe that could be the case. Let me double check everything though. Alright, we'll give her another try. Oh my gosh, it's so close. The starter's giving up on me like last second. I need to turn over a little bit longer. I had a thought occur to me that maybe the fact that the motor is not in place it's giving us some problems. Not to mention, I kind of want to take a break from messing around with that, so I'm going to pop try to pull the motor up and pop it on the mounts. Ooh. Just got the front hooked up because we shouldn't have to worry about the back of the car, or the back of the motor. As long as the bolts don't break. Oh. Oh, it's hard to do this with one person. Or harder, at least. Let's see if that'll do it. We're lined up on this side. We're just a little bit off on that side. I'm going to try not to drop it on the screwdriver. I just want to get it lined up, and then I can pull the screwdriver out before it goes all the way down. Okay, it dropped all over the screwdriver. Oh no, it didn't. That's perfect. And we're in on this side. Boom. That wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Does not want to go down any farther. But we are cleared off the firewall back here. It was touching before. I wonder if that has any reason with the fact that it was angled up by the back cylinder is the worst cylinder, and maybe some more moisture got in there. I don't know. I do not know. See if this will go down any farther. Not really. or it was hung up on the threads, which isn't the best. This one just does, the side doesn't want to go down at all, and it's not hung up on anything. Or maybe because this side's holding it up a little bit, I don't know. Try to pick her up a little bit. Maybe get a pry bar in there. Maybe, hopefully that one doesn't pop out. I got it on the motor mounts mostly. It's hung up a little bit, I don't know why. But you can definitely, there's a whole lot more room back here. I'm hoping, and I was also kind of not having a lot of success, so I decided to mess around with it. I did a compression test, and they're all pretty consistent except for that back cylinder. Well, I'm thinking that backfire might be, I don't know, maybe the angle wasn't happy and it was sending a bunch of fuel towards the back.
Oh, yeah.
Although you would still expect it to work, because sometimes if your car, I don't know, but maybe sitting at that angle for an extended period of time. Unhook me, please. What? Well, it only gets caught up once you pull it out. Spilling gas.
Yeah, so obviously you gotta figure out this real compression issue before you kill the battery, do anything else, and then.
Well, no, we don't. You can. It should run on 5.
Like I said, you gotta have it. A lot of things we're coming across that.
Well, all right. I started running out of things that immediately seemed like the problem, so I pulled off the side cover, which was totally not difficult at all, and get a look at the side and the valves and whatnot, and I could spin it over. It's probably be hard to see, but all the valves and whatnot are moving up and down, except for that back cylinder. One of them is stuck, and I don't know. I was doing some reading, and that could cause some of that backfiring, which I guess makes sense. So that one right there, that one's stuck. It won't move up and down. So I'm gonna try to, I don't know, smack her a little bit and see if I can get it to drop. Because you could see, gosh, right there, there's the gap, and it should be dropping down to meet it at the bottom. It seems like there's no, I I can't tell. But yeah, it's not dropping to meet it at the bottom. There's a pretty healthy gap right there, which means it's not dropping. So I'm going to try to, like I said, mess with that and see if we can get some compression back on that cylinder. All right, I've messed around with the lifter a little bit. Either the lifter's collapsed or the lobe is freaking gone. It's just not going up. It's actually moving fine. Usually they'll be stuck. And it wasn't stuck, it was moving up and down, but we weren't having much cooperation. So I just put the cover back on, and I was doing some more research, doing some looking. Supposedly, the dampeners or whatever have a tendency to spin a little bit, and that would explain our timing. And I was able to pop the number 1 spark plug off, and I have a borescope light camera, because I can't fully see the cylinder. I can see a little bit from the side, but I was able to get the camera in there, and I was able to get the top dead center. And it's on like 5 or 6 degrees, 4 or 5 or 6. I think it was at 4 actually of advance versus obviously 0. So whenever I was putting advance into it, it was putting not enough. It was pretty much at what realistic. I was putting like 5 or 6 degrees in, which realistically means it was at top dead center, just about. So I actually remarked it with a paint marker temporarily, and I put like 5-6 degrees in. And so hopefully that'll solve our problem. That would definitely explain everything that was going on. I actually threw the carburetor back on too because I figured it kept backfiring out and it was shooting giant fireballs. So I figured the carburetor would give me a little bit of protection, I guess. Oh, it sounds a lot closer. think, should I put a little more in? I think I take a little bit out. Actually, that was the wrong way. I might have to give the starter some time to cool down here in a second. Give it one more try. Oh! Man, it's skipping. It's so close. I'm gonna give the starter some time to cool down. The coil's getting kind of warm too. All right, take 947. Let's see if we can get it going this time. It really seemed like we were getting close towards the end, but I don't know, maybe it's placebo. Maybe I feel like it should be close, so I think it's close, but it's not actually close. Put this back over here. Oh my gosh, it's close. Man. I'm just wondering if the down cylinder is what's making some of this timing finicky, because it definitely seems like I'm starting to get it dialed in a little bit more. But I feel like I shouldn't have to be on target like this. Maybe it's also that I can't keep turning it over. I don't know. Oh, it's getting close. Give it a little bit more. Let's see what that does. I think I'm gonna shove this down here and let it sit. I don't know. Kind of defeats the purpose of the choke then, right? Say what I say. Man. I wonder if I hook the fuel back up, I'll have a little bit more help on it. But I also kind of like I think we were having some more success putting a little bit more timing in it. Oh, I don't know. I do not know. Let's open this back up. Freaking nice out today. I've been enjoying the weather. It's supposed to get cold again this weekend. Kind of nice to get this done. Come on. There we go. Wide open. Oh, I heard that one go pop inside. Man! Well, back on the car. I was doing some thinking. I was thinking, I don't know, maybe the coil is giving us some problems. Because I was checking the spark, it didn't seem like it was burning super hot. So I got a new 6-volt coil, and it kind of matched the spark plug wires, which is pretty sweet. So I was going to swap that over. And then not to mention the old wire, I cleaned the connections up on it. But it is old, so I'm going to make up a new wire for it. Maybe that'll help out a little bit. I don't know. I'm trying to hopefully get a little bit, I don't know, lucky. Kind of grasping at straws at this point. It is really confusing me, I have to say. But I think this could be the problem. This is what I think ended up being the problem on my Maverick. Because I was getting spark, and it had like a nice Mallory setup on it, distributor, and coil. And I was getting spark, but it wasn't super hot. And I just wasn't sure why I was running. I ended up throwing in an HEI distributor on it. Why am I messing with that? Let's just mess with this. I ended up throwing an HEI distributor on it, and it freaking fired up. So that'd be just about my luck. The same funky thing kind of happens twice, I guess. But if I can figure it out now, it doesn't really matter. And like I said, the new coil is matching the spark plug wires, which is very exciting for me. I think those are 3/8 and then maybe 5/16 on that one. I got all my tools moved around. I got the new toolbox coming, which is very exciting. But some of the stuff's a little bit all over the place. Not that it isn't normally, because everything is always all over the place, but it's even worse right now. Oh, this is 11/32. I don't have 11/32 wrench. Isn't that fun? Have to grab a socket. That doesn't open up there. I'm gonna have to move this. Oh. Dang, all this crap's in the way. Kind of hoping the toolbox was going to be here by now. To be honest. Where are you? Here we are. Alright, now I got the socket. Hopefully pop this off. Yeah, all these connections, like I said, I cleaned them up, but they are freaking old and rusty. Which is never a good thing. I was messing around with the starter for a while, and I think it ended up being just the connection was loose. It was giving me all sorts of problems, so hoping that's all it is here, is maybe some bad connections, maybe a new coil. The new coil was like $12 or something like that, so kind of a simple one to take a look at. And if it's not the problem, it ain't a big deal. It ain't bad to have a new one. Although I don't know what I'm going to do if this doesn't solve the problem, to be honest. I was curious yesterday. I was doing a little bit of messing around with this off camera. And I was seeing that if the valve was stuck open, which it is, or if it's stuck closed, that could cause the backfire. So I disconnected the wire, the plug wire for 6, and it was still backfiring, which kind of makes me think, again, it's, I don't know, we're back to timing that's being funky, but also because I was just spraying a lot of starting fluid down in it, which would definitely cause that problem. Where'd it go? There it is. Oh, sweet, there we go. It's in there nice and good now. That'll work for now, I guess. What size are these? 5/16? Yep. Gotta remember that it's freaking negative ground. That keeps tripping me up. It's funny because I'm gonna go work on another car that's just normal, or it's positive ground. And I'm gonna work on a normal negative ground car, and I'm gonna like fry the electrical or something. I don't know. Where's the wire for that? That should be negative. There we go. I'm gonna make up a new wire for this one. Drop my ratchet on the ground. Something like that'll work. I really like these style strippers. A whole lot simpler. Less fussing around. Oh! I gotta move my makeshift table out of the way. Alright. I think I'm gonna grab a small one. If I can find them. I ran through so many connectors doing the wiring harness on the Maverick. There we go. There's one, there's two. Close this before they all fall on the floor. Come on. Sweet. Hoping this solves a problem. That wasn't a great crimp on it. This isn't really cooperating right now. All this wiring's temporary, because I'd like to actually try to wire it up properly. Although I'm not opposed to just kind of somewhat rigging some stuff up. I don't know. We'll find out. I kind of want to go to 12 volt, or yeah, 12 volt. But not exactly sure if I'm at that point right now. I think that might be part of the problem too. It just seems like if we had a little more juice to crank the starter over, because it seems like it gives out on us right when the thing wants to fire up. I didn't get it on camera the other day, but I was again messing around with it a little bit, and I got it to shoot a bunch of freaking acorns out the back of the car, which was kind of funny. Same thing that happened on my Maverick, which I've heard stories where you get things stuck in the exhaust and it can't fire properly. And that could cause it from not starting. But when I first had when I was first messing around with it, I didn't even have the exhaust hooked up. So I don't think that's it, but maybe now that I got it hooked up, I solved the problem that was holding it up earlier, and now I have a new problem. But I don't know. I mean, that's just dirty. Wouldn't that be funny if that was the whole time I just didn't clean it well enough? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm going to clean that up a little bit better. It is kind of a shame with a lot of this different stuff, because it was brand new when it was put on, you could tell. But I just sat out and it corroded. A little bit chillier today than it's been the last few days. It rained on us last night and the temperatures dropped. It's not horrible, but it's not as nice as I would like. It's supposed to be pretty cold the next few days. Because after I hopefully get this thing running, I was going to mess around with the inside of the car that I showed you guys a little bit at the beginning of the video. And try to get some floors put in it. Because you can't really drive it if you got the floors like that in. I mean, I guess you could, but then you hit a rock and it flies and hits you in the face, and then you have no good time. It's not exactly what you want. Alright, that seems alright. Throw everything on the floor where it belongs. Where is this at? There we go. That's still tight. That's definitely not the right size. Oh, I should just freaking move the rolling cart over here that I cleared off the other day, but I didn't. Like I said, I was clearing out the garage a little bit, and I got the one corner super nice. I was very happy with it. And then all the other junk got put, and it's just blocking everything else. Solve one problem, you create another. But once the toolbox comes in, It's a little bit bigger toolbox. It's not a nice toolbox, but it's a little bit, because we get a bunch of the small ones. And it's kind of be nicer just to have one big one where you can throw all your main stuff in, and then I can make some of these small ones, like put some of like the engine tools, like, you know, piston ring compressors and all that random stuff. This won't throw down for me. Just so it's not all over the place. You know, one for body work. I can have a whole toolbox set up for wiring stuff. So I bought so many different tools and consumables when I was doing the truck and the Maverick, wiring those up. Kind of overflowing over there. Positive, negative. That looks about right. That looks a whole lot better too. Not that that really matters at all, but it makes me feel better, which is all that's important sometimes, I think. No! Some of this out of the way. Well, nothing left to it but to try it out. My custom battery tray over here is being a little difficult right now. There we go, that's better. Where's my, there we are. Oh yeah, we're getting a blue spark now. We were getting an orange one earlier. Wouldn't that be hilarious? The battery seems like it's dying again, so hopefully that isn't what gives us problems right now. That would be so funny if it was something that stupid, which makes sense, 'cause I mean that coil's been sitting forever. Jeez, the battery's definitely dying. It did seem like for a second there it was close, but sounded like that for a while now, so. I still don't know why it's backfiring like that. I think I might have found the problem, and if anyone is astute enough, you could see I took the timing cover off. I've been saying it was timing the whole time, but I mean, didn't think it's, I'm all over the place, but it seems like from the story I was told on this motor that it was originally, it ran a little bit, and then it hasn't run since like 1972, and I think the previous owner was messing around with it, trying to get it running again, and the timing chain was just all sorts of off. Like the one mark was pointing this way, and they're supposed to point this way. Now I don't understand what's going on, because I was tracking it up top. Maybe they were trying to put advance in it or something, but it seems like it's on top dead center. 1 and 6 both have valves closed. The distributor drive you can see in there is pointed straight forward, which it's supposed to. When I try to cock it the way the manual is telling me, it throws it way off up there, and I think I'm just going to leave the timing cover off and fire it and see if it'll work, and I'll kind of just, I mean, it's not the best way to do it, it's not the best for the motor, but I'm going to try to test it a little bit, because I don't the hardest part about this car is I don't understand what was all done to it, and obviously there's certain things that were not done 100% right, which is the hardest part. You know, getting an old car running that hasn't been touched ain't that bad, but when someone messes around with it, you don't know what they did to it. So I'm gonna throw the timing chain back on. I'm gonna tighten the bolt down and see if this gets us in the ballpark. If it doesn't, then I'm gonna flip around. I'm gonna do what the book says, and then we'll see if that gets us close. I don't know. This isn't the definitely not the way to do it, because then you can run into certain things hitting each other that aren't supposed to hit each other. But I think that's what I'm gonna end up doing. I don't know. I still haven't fully thought it out, but I'll get back to you when I start messing around with it a little more. All right, this is my last try of this car. Freshly charged the battery. I ended up buying a distributor rebuild kit for it, which came with Carburetor, points, condenser. It's $35, so I figured I'd give it a try. Hopefully we can get it running this time around, but I don't know. I think there's a good chance I'm gonna have to pull the motor apart, or we can look at doing a swap on it. Because I don't know if I showed it in this video, the freaking destroyed the rear drum on this car, and they don't make them, and so I don't know. It might be smarter, easier just to freaking buy a drivetrain out of a different car. I don't know. But right now we're gonna try to give it a try with what we got. It would be nice to get it started with this. I don't think the points of condenser and whatnot were the problem, but it's worth the try for 35 bucks, I think. This thing's getting retired after this. You just let it go and it starts squirting for no damn reason. Alright. Jeez. Just give it all the gas it needs. Unscrew this so it doesn't squirt all over the place. Yeah, I've been working on this freaking motor. I haven't seen a ton of it, but for freaking like a month now, and I decided to put new floors in it. So the next video on this, you'll see it'll be me putting floors in it. But let's hope and see if we can get her running right here. I don't know. And it freaking wants to. It really wants to. Big old fireball. That's all I can get out of it. There's a couple fryers and then it's done. I thought it would be fine with that one down cylinder, but that combined with every other cylinder, I forgot where I got the compression chart. So they're supposed to be like 120 psi. I think it was this cylinder which was the strongest. I think that's what, cylinder 3? Maybe it was 4. One of these two, 3 or 4, the highest at like 90, and the rest of them were sitting in like the high 70s or 80s. So they were close, but according to the book, they're supposed to be at 120 psi. And on top of that, you have cylinder 4. Oh, that is 4 back there, completely dead because for some reason the valve ain't moving up and down, even though it's not stuck. Just the combination of all that is not giving it the juice it needs, I think. So I will wrap it up here. Very, very unfortunate. But thank you for watching. Follow for the next videos because there's going to be more on this car. And then we got just picked up an 87 BMW 325e. And then I also got to paint the Maverick. And I also picked up a 71 Cutlass Supreme SX, which will be kind of fun. No title. I might do a chassis swap. I don't know. But that wraps it up for this one. Thank you for watching.